Hey, what's up? So I was not expecting to come back so quickly and already make another video related to Helldivers 2, man. This is pretty crazy. It's funny. So I'm going to show you this. This is stuff I've been talking about. It is related to the, so-called and supposed, conspiracy of those in power and control. Anyways, let me show you what's going on with PlayStation first. There's a couple things I was shown by the same friend. This first one, I was like, man, I told you, and I'm not. It's not about like I told you so type of thing. It's more like, please tell me you see this, right? Please tell me you understand that I have been talking about this for a little while now, like a little bit. Not as long as other people have been talking about it. I've heard of these things for a long time. That I had never really looked into myself. This specific screenshot is not from America. This is from the UK. And I almost made a video as soon as he sent this to me. He logged out like after he sent it to me. And I wanted to make a video right away, but I wanted to ask questions first. I wanted to say, is it possible to skip this? But he doesn't know because this was a friend of his shared it with him, and I was like, oh damn it, because what it reminds me of is the Twitter thing. This makes me wonder, because this is PlayStation. This is creating a PSN network. They wanted to do it to play Helldivers, right? It reminded me of the Twitter thing where about a year ago they've re-announced it again. But about a year ago, Elon had already posted this out. Like, oh, we're gonna make new users. We're gonna force new users to pay $1, as well as some other identification things for new accounts. They're gonna force that on brand new accounts in order to combat the bots that they added to the platform. No, for real. And then they recently brought that same thing up again. They said, okay, yeah, now we're doing it. Yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff is happening. All this stuff that people would think is conspiracy or whatever because it's too far, but it's real. Every single thing is connected. It sucks. And the thing that's weird to me about that, as I keep thinking about it, man, I'm like, to me, a lot of that stuff, most of it, 90% of that stuff in relation to all the madness doesn't scare me. Most of it just pisses me off, especially knowing like certain things. It just makes me mad. Like, I'm not scared of it. And then the other 10%, whatever, the horrifying, like, yeah, can be scary, but I'm far more pissed than scared. And this stuff that's being normalized isn't actually scary. There's nothing scary about a facial scan or using your ID by itself. Just the thought of like, oh, I have to use my ID is not scary. It reminds me, I even came across this conversation again yesterday. I've heard it many times. They talk about, think about you trying to get into a bar. You're giving all kinds of strangers anywhere you go that you have to prove your age, your address, your name, your details of how tall you are, your skin color, your eye color, like all that kind of stuff, right? To strangers, just to, and of course most of them, I wouldn't imagine, are actually memorizing all of your random info. They're just checking the year of your date, right? Like, but it is that is a part of our normal, is having to ID ourselves everywhere we go and for this and that. And right now, this is what they're doing. They are pushing to normalize facial recognition. Right now, it's optional, right? It has been until here we go. Here's what's this? Oh, age verification. So I am curious about, like, is there a different option? There's got to be, right? I don't know what it would be. And yeah, how messed up is that? They're really forcing you to do this, man. That's funny. It's crazy to see it actually happen, and to still like know people are gonna deny this and call it conspiracy. And it's like, no, this is, what do you, please tell me you see this and understand this, right? Please, like what the hell, man? Like, hello. Yeah, and that, look, and I talked about in one of a couple of previous videos, is like eventually what they want, and they've said this is how they say these things, okay? They say these things in the public, they talk about this stuff, they disguise it as for your protection, they disguise it as, oh, we're saving the world, we're saving the planet, they disguise it as these things, they put it in fancy words, all these pretend fake stupid stories that they make up in order to get people to go along with it, like, oh yeah, we need to do this for your protection. No, it's for full control of all of mankind, as many people as possible, full control and domination. It reminded me, I just thought, like, watch a movie called Equilibrium. If you've never seen Equilibrium with Christian Bale, it's a cool movie. Lower budget, but good movie. It's pretty cool, pretty crazy. Watch it. If you've never seen V for Vendetta, look for these movies. Try to, if you can find them on a streaming service that you watch, check them out. Watch those movies. They're good movies. They're entertaining. They're also, you'll get some revelation of the method action going on with that one. Yeah, so yeah, it's crazy, man. I remember they started similar things like this on Facebook and Twitter a few years ago. Everything's been going quickly in the past few years. They've been doing so much crazy nutso stuff, and they're making it. They'll present it to everybody as like, this is what we're doing to save the planet. Like, we're gonna make you use bioscans and facial recognition, and we're gonna make sure that all of you have your identity and everything in one device. For everything that you do, everywhere that you go, and it's constantly monitoring you, and we're going to track you, all this stuff, in order to save the planet, in order to save the world. That's how they present it. No, it's funny. Anyways, so I don't know, man. Yeah, so I was wondering, I forgot, I think this reminded me of the Twitter thing. Like, I wonder if this might, and I'm assuming that it probably is for like brand new accounts, because I've never had to do this, and I imagine eventually what will happen is, as this continues to be normalized, it will be also for existing accounts, right? Like they migrate them, right? They migrate stuff. They migrate these features, right? Give me one sec. So I think, of course, eventually what they'll do is they're starting it with brand new accounts, but as that normalizes, they will make it normal for every existing account. That will happen over time. I don't know how long it's going to take. That's the thing. The past few years, I saw a lot of stuff happen very quickly that I'm not going to, off the top of my head, it's not what I'm here to discuss about or anything, but it's related. Things have been very quick, and from what I had seen, all this stuff about 2030, that the plans for 2030 became the goal for 2025. I don't know if you've seen it. I've seen it. I saw article, and I wasn't surprised too, because the more people I saw talking about these things, I was like, oh, they're gonna have to speed this up. People are starting to pay attention, right? This is just the thoughts that I've had, but I have noticed, and maybe you have too, like certain things have been changed to 2025. Like, oh, this is our goal. We're gonna have this done by 2025. It used to be 2030. There still is a major overall 2030 goal, right? I think at this point, before, I think what it was is that they wanted to have these things put in place by 2030. I believe that since people paid more attention, and it's out in the public, in the freaking open, it's all nuts, that they now, instead of the implementation being by 2030, what they want is the normalization by 2030. So the new implementation goal is 2025 for as much as possible. The real ID stuff has been crazy to see. A lot of these things you don't have a choice over. They force it on us, man, that's where it becomes a real big issue, and that's why it can be so hard to resist, especially when, and if half, or at least half of our population believes in these things, and they believe it makes sense. It reminds me, another thing it reminds me of is the Helldivers 2 community manager. I'm familiar with this person that over the many years I've seen her. I used to watch her YouTube, used to watch her live streams. I watched her become a community manager in a game that I play. I don't want to name her because I'm about to trash her, kind of a little bit. But she was defending the CM from Helldivers too. And if you saw my video, I wasn't trying to defend them, but I was saying there are some other, like, you know, like, let's be real, like the thing that they responded to was some stupid crap, you know, like the CM. I don't think the CM should have replied the way they did, but you know, it was like, whatever, dude. Like, I just thought it was funny. But she started defending him, saying how, like, oh, they mean well, this and that, which is, I wouldn't doubt that they mean well, right? But CMs and generally any of us working in retail, as any type of retail, customer support, whatever, we're literally PR for the company we work for. We are told to lie, and we know that. You ever work a job, they tell you not to tell the customer this, don't tell the customer that, whatever. There are things you don't tell customers. Anybody working in retail knows that. We all know that the companies we work for are full of crap. They do not care about their customers at all. All they care about is the money. All they care about is the merchandise. All they care about is the methods in which they use to sell you these things. They don't care about you at all. Anyways, a lot of this stuff, I should write things out sometimes, because a lot of the stuff I've said is not anything I was planning to say, but I have so many thoughts surrounding this whole thing, man. But please tell me that you at least recognize the conspiracy going on. You know, are you here yet? Do you get it? Do you understand it's real? Let me go into another part. The other thing my buddy showed me that's related to the Helldivers 2 thing. And I forgot about this one until just now, but let me see how it looks zoomed in. Oh, stupid crap. Another thing that I thought was funny about this was the same girl who was a CM that was defending the CM I came across her video and I was curious what she had to say. She said a bunch of stupid stuff. She was basically just telling people, don't be rude, share your feedback without being rude, you know, be nice about it, right? Which makes sense. It makes sense. But when people are angry, you gotta let them express their anger, man. You don't have to allow them to be super crazy douchebags or anything, but you gotta, like, understand they're gonna be angry and stuff. But in her video part where she was talking about it, she was like, look, you can still play the game even if you're in these other regions that, you know, they blocked off. Because part of it, I forgot, part of it, the PSN isn't available everywhere in the world. I had forgotten about that. So even if it's a free account, you cannot create a PSN account in certain countries and regions and stuff, right? So even she said this. She said, you can use a VPN to go play, you know, and she's even giving like little instructions on how to use it and stuff. And then my buddy came show me this, and they're like, Chinese player got banned after trying to link his Steam account to PSN using VPN. Yeah, no, that's real. And this isn't the first time I've seen anything like that. VPN use has been something that they've been fighting for a long time. It also reminds me of the whole, like, whatever, that I don't want to get into that, but it's the like we've heard about how, like, China has their own internet, their own Facebook, their own Google. They can't actually see outside of their internet inside of their own country unless they use a VPN. It doesn't show. We're here. That's where we're at. I don't know how long we've been at it. It's very obvious to me now. I've wondered about it ever since I researched a bunch of things on accident. I started thinking about it. I'm like, how long have they been controlling our internet? Because we see what we think is from outside, what we believe, what we're given as far as stories and stuff. We're told that this is from another country, but is that true? Is any of that true? Like, I don't know. I can't believe it's true. I can believe that we are seeing these stories and news and whatever from other parts of the world. I can believe that, but it doesn't have to be true. Like man, I'm just saying, okay? Yeah, so it's crazy, man. It's all ridiculous. But yeah, so I wanted to share this, and look, if you have an answer for me, I'm really asking you, do you see that this is happening? Are you with me yet? Are you with me, man? And I'm not For me, I've had this thought over the past few years. Every time I see something pop up, and I've had friends share things too, and I'll be like, "I told you, man, I told you." And it's not about being right. It's not. It's about like, you told me this was fake. You told me this was a conspiracy. I have been my my closest my closest people have made fun of me. It's been weird. But I spent the past few years watching all kinds of predictions come true in the political realm. Stuff that I was like, hey, what? How do you predict something like that? And then again, like I've said, the more I looked at everything, the more I could. It reminded me of all the times when I was young, like, hearing about like it's the same cycle. It's the same stories. They keep telling you over and over. It's all the same stuff. They use it. It's all propaganda. It's the same thing. They don't even change the story. And I could recognize some of that. I did. I could tell some of that. I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. But I had never really looked at the details, man. And now, if I wanted to, I mentioned it once before. I was like, look, if I wanted to, depending on how things go, I don't plan to. It's not something I want to do. But 20 years from now, I could probably predict every little thing that's going to happen, like during the cycles, you know. The flu is always going to be a thing. Well, now the new thing is, you know, the C word. I could say it. I'm just making fun. That's the new thing. We don't even call it the flu anymore. We just don't. That's gone. That's gone. That is the new normal. It's one of them. There's the new normal. There's all kinds of things in the new. It's just regular things that now are the new normal. It's you know, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so flu and oh, I had another one in my mind. War, you know, typical normal stuff, and then inflation, another one. All these things are over and over and over again. But many things, and like I'm super sure I could predict them 20 years from now if I were to continue really following every little step of the way. But no, man, no. I've seen too much. I've seen enough. I don't ever like. I'm like, I just want to try and I have to talk about it, you know, especially for me being such a mess up at the. Anyways, if you know what I'm talking about, cool. I've made many videos on that. But anyways, so yeah, man, VPN, get you banned, and creating a new account. They want to verify your age and get your ID or your facial scan. And this will become normal, where it's the only option. This will happen for everything. Entering a store, entering anything, going anywhere. That's the plan. That's what they're doing. They're actively designing these things into everything. The reason it's so easy to, like, when I, just as a final thought before I go, I've talked about how the dots connected themselves, and it's all related to money. That's why it's not just political. Like, it's the companies, Sony. It's everybody's doing these things. I could say, you know, maybe they don't know what they're really getting into. I don't. It could be maybe just the money's talking. The money's buying them to do, paying them to do these things, implement all these features. It could be that they're just being bought, and they don't realize, or they just don't care, because they're going to be able to afford not to deal with most of the stuff. They don't care. They're going to be rich, you know. That's all. That's possible. That's it. As far as like the political realm, all the politicians are connected to the money. So like, I don't know specifically. I did not get deep into Sony as a company, and where they're connected exactly. But I can see the features they're going along with here are pretty spot on with all that stuff. I have seen a bit here and there of Microsoft and their evil motherfrackeries. I hate their guts. Amazon is horrible. You know, like, there are some companies that are a little bit more obvious in their evil. Like, but I would not be surprised at all to find out Sony is also deeply evil. I don't know. Again, Microsoft, I just happened to come across some stuff, and Sony, I never really looked into. But, you know, like I said, you can see this here, man. It's It's here. Welcome to the new normal, man. Anyways, let me know what you think. I'll talk to you later. Bye.